Hey, 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 everyone! I'm Becca, and he's Matt, and this is Becca's Book Club Adventure.
Part 1, House of Flame and Shadow. It's like the prologue and then the first 27 chapters. We're going to talk about it here in a second after we recap what we read. And if any of you would like to join in the conversation with us, feel free to leave us a comment, shoot us a review. You can email us at bookclubbybecca@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Instagram. We are at Becca's Book Club Adventure. Hopefully, we will hear from you and feature you on the next episode, maybe even ask you to join. So, Becca, do you want to start us off with what happened in our story?
Our story opens in the Eternal City. The Astari have contained the events that transpired at the end of Book 2, but are still continuing their search for Bryce, as the Hind, Pollux, and the Hawks torture and interrogate Rune, Hunt, and Byaxian, while the Hind continues to play her dangerous double agent game.
Bryce, meanwhile, is being held in an underground cell in the hewn city in Prythian. Not that she knows that. As Amryn, Azriel, and Rhys question her.
3 things become clear before they leave her in the cell alone. First, this is the original home of Midgard's Fae.
Second, the Prythian Fae did successfully oust the Astari 15,000 years ago, although the Astari were known by a different name then, the Daglin.
And third, the tattoo of the horn on Bryce's back is recognized as being related to the cauldron.
But Bryce eventually grows tired of her cell, so she decides to escape through a grate in the floor, as one does, and then proceeds to walk into a tunnel, using her star as her guide.
Nesta catches up with her, but can't take her back to her cell because of a cave-in that forces the two into a shaky alliance to move forward through the cave system.
While they're walking back in Crescent City, Therion and Arianda, what did you call her? Adrian, we're going to call her Adrian. Therion and Adrian fight in the pits for the Viper Queen, who is slowly getting Therion addicted to her.
Ethan, Declan, and Flynn simultaneously continue their search for Bryce, Rune, and Hunt, as well as deal with the wolf mystic Sigrid. In the meat market, looking for intel, they are all ambushed by Sabine and her wolves.
They dispatch Sabine with a gunshot to the face, but don't worry, everyone. She's going to make the recovery we all want her to make. But then they stumble into the Viper Queen, who invites them to stay as her guests.
Bryce and Nesta continue their journey through the unknown tunnel using Bryce's star as a guide. Eventually, Azriel makes himself known, and the 3 together continue down the tunnel.
They endure booby traps, and they even battle a worm. And then they start passing walls that seem to depict the Fae's history up until they left Midgard, including depictions of the Astari.
At the Viper Queen's den, the gang wakes up one morning to find the Hind in their room requesting their help to break Rune, Hunt, and Byaxian free. The gang is rightly suspicious of her. She reveals herself as Agent Daybright and tells them her plan to get them into the Eternal City and free the prisoner in 3 days.
Harder said than done, though, because trapped in the meat market, Ethan then has to go negotiate with the Viper Queen for their freedom. If Ethan does one pit fight and wins, they all go free.
Bryce, Azriel, and Nesta eventually reach the door with a starborn star on it. On the other side, they step into the prison, where Bryce is able to activate a vision that tells the story of the Prythian Fae, of Bryce's heritage and of Rhys's heritage.
Through the hologram vision, we learn how they were conquered by the Astari, how they used the Dead Trove to overthrow their conquerors, how that wasn't enough for Thea, and how she needed to conquer her herself and eventually made her way to Midgard.
Then how Pellis worked with the Astari and manipulated her, and how they murdered the humans already living on the Midgard, how Regulus brought the shifters, and how Thea enlisted Hel's help to wage war on the Astari after learning the truth, how they lost, and how one of Thea's daughters returns to Prythian and created the prison and began the Night Court's lineage.
As Bryce learns history, Ethan is forced to fight Sigrid for his freedom. Against his desires and natural instincts, Ethan accidentally unalives her. The Viper Queen keeps her promise and lets them go. And as they drive away, the fire sprites zip into the car, having waited behind to set fire to the meat market.
And back on the Eternal City, Rune, Hunt, and Byaxen continue to endure torture and search for a way to free themselves. The Astari resurrect the Harpy, which causes the Hind to enlist the Fire Sprite Queen to help start a coup to free the prisoners.
Meanwhile, in the prison, Azriel and Nesta move to contain Bryce. But Bryce imbues herself with Thea's power that had been sequestered in the stone beneath her feet and fights back, causing the floor to collapse into a chamber below them where one of the Astari is trapped in a crystal coffin.
Bryce releases her from the coffin as a trade for more information because she wants to learn how to kill the Astari. But Versepis doesn't give any valuable information, and a battle ensues and she activates the hidden cache of First Light beneath the floor.
The battle that follows sees Bryce use the Star Sword and Azriel's dagger to subdue the Astari, but that doesn't stop her because of all of the First Light. Nesta sneaks up behind her and finishes her off using Ataraxia to behead her.
Part 1 comes to an end with Ethan leaving the gang from Crescent City to go back to make things right, just as the gang begins to make their way to the Eternal City.
And at the same time, Azriel and Nesta are horrified by the amount of magic Bryce is now able to wield. They once again try to subdue her, but Bryce uses the empty crystal sarcophagus to create a world portal and jump through it. Done.